Now we're subtracting a fraction from a mixed number, but this time the fraction is larger than the fraction in the mixed number. So we're going to need to exchange with our whole number in order to subtract the fraction. So first we have 2 1/5 minus 3/4. But to subtract fractions, the denominators need to be the same. Now the lowest common multiple of 5 and 4 is 20. 20 is in both the 5 and the 4 times tables, so we can find equivalent fractions to 1/5 and 3/4 which have a denominator of 20. 5 times 4 is 20, so we do the same to the numerator, and 1 times 4 is 4. Now 4 times 5 is 20, and 3 times 5 is 15. So we can rewrite our question. Instead of 2 1/5, we can write 2 4/20, because that's equivalent to 1/5. And instead of subtracting 3/4, we can subtract 15/20, because 15/20 is equivalent, so the same size as 3/4. But now we need to subtract 15/20, but we only have 4/20 in our mixed number. So what we can do here is exchange one of our wholes for another 20/20. So 1 less than 2 is 1, and that means we get 20 more 20ths, so we can add the denominator to the numerator, and 20 plus 4 is 24. So 1 24/20 is the same as 2 4/20, but now we can subtract those 15/20. Remember, when we subtract fractions, the denominator stays the same, and 24 minus 15 is 9. But now we have one whole, and we're not subtracting any wholes, so there's one whole in our answer, 1 9/20. Now we have 2 1/3 minus 1/2. We need the denominators to be the same, and 6 is the lowest common multiple of 3 and 2, so we can find equivalent fractions which have a denominator of 6. 3 times 2 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3. So instead of 2 1/3, we can write 2 2/6, because 2/6 is equivalent to 1/3, and instead of subtracting 1/2, we can subtract 3/6, because that's a fraction that's the same size as 1/2. But now we only have 2/6 in our mixed number, but we need to subtract 3/6, so we can exchange with our whole number. We can exchange one of our wholes for 6 more 6. So 1 less than 2 is 1, and that means we can add the denominator to the numerator. So 6 plus 2 is 8, the denominator stays the same, so 1 8/6 is the same as 2 2/6. But now we can subtract 3/6. The denominator stays the same, and 8 minus 3 is 5, so that's 5/6 as our fraction, and 1 whole minus nothing is 1 whole, so our answer is 1 5/6. Let's see the fraction bars so that we can see what we did here, especially when we exchanged one of our wholes to add the denominator to the numerator. So for this first question, we started with 2 1/5, but that's the same as 2 4/20. But we needed to subtract 3/4, which is the same as 15/20. Because we only had 4/20, what we did was change one of our wholes into 20ths as well. That meant that we had 1 whole and 24/20, because we added the denominator to the numerator and took one of our wholes away. But then we could subtract 15 of those 20ths, which is the same as subtracting 3/4, and that left us with 1 whole and 9/20 left in blue, so that's our answer. Then we had 2 1/3. We changed that 1/3 into 2/6, but we needed to subtract 1/2, which is the same as 3/6. So what we did was turn one of our wholes into 6, and that meant that we had 1 whole and 8/6. So that's why we took 1 away from our whole number and added the denominator to the numerator to give us 1 and 8/6. So then we could take 3/6 away, and that's the same as taking half away, but that left us with 1 and 5/6 as our answer. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that was helpful. If you're a teacher or a parent, then please subscribe or go to keystage2maths.com to download resources for this lesson and many more. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.